Icon Chains, an exhibition of work by Clark Fox in Dover, Delaware, continuing through January 22nd, 2017 at the Biggs Museum of American Art at 406 Federal Street, with Clark Fox discussing his Native American focused paintings.
Okay, this is one of my Native American paintings. It's a portrait of Red Cloud, who actually went to Washington, D.C., negotiated some stuff for the Indians. This is a portrait of two Native Americans. One was a chief of the Lakota, and the other one was a president of Mexico at the same, and they were both in office at the same time. Benito Juarez was elected by the people of Mexico. I guess it was a fair election. He actually didn't learn how to speak Spanish until he was about 16 years old. He's from around Oaxaca. And he was actually, he's famous for being the shortest president of all time, although I saw Haile Selassie once and can't imagine anybody could have been shorter than him. He comes from the same area. The background is from Zapotec design. It's a classic motif. If you go down to Oaxaca, you'll see that. And kind of the idea was that my guy on the right was a total renegade. A lot of my paintings are like narratives. There's a story behind every picture. Every picture tells a story, but a lot of people don't sort of get the idea until they hear the story. And in this exhibition, they were kind enough to put some little explanation cards next to the paintings. The one on the left, it kind of shows the disparity between Mexico and the United States, where as a Native American, you could become president of the country, where here you were just stuck on a reservation, jail time, or a lot of the chiefs were actually murdered. And if you're in D.C., if you're in Rock Creek, the Bison Bridge actually has a whole bunch of Red Cloud's faces carved on it. I think the bridge was built around the time of Theodore Roosevelt, and he actually had Geronimo, who was a real renegade, in his second inaugural parade on Pennsylvania Avenue. Plus, had quite a few other Native Americans. He was into ecology and saved a lot of parks and a lot of public land, thanks to Roosevelt. He did his bit, Benito Juarez is actually like on the George Washington. He's on the peso note. Okay, now this is two chiefs. One is hang around the fort, Native American, and the other one was somebody out on the plains. That's a Cheyenne tribe on the left, and Lakota on the right. And it's funny. My mother, even when I was a little kid, said, "Never forget that you're Native American." And at that time, it wasn't much knowledge about the background. It's very hard. It was very hard to find out anything about what had happened. With the internet and with things, I've done a lot of research, and I started off as sort of Western. School of Paris. You can see this is sort of like a Claude Monet background, and my pictures either have dots on them, like post-impressionism, or the Impressionist school. And at the same time, there were the Indian Wars. Well, there was a lot in the history. There was a lot that goes way back, but it's either very hard to find out what happened. A lot of the tribes on the East Coast were pretty much annihilated, or even in 1839, they started moving them west. and so they were trying to liquidate them. But there are still, in many states, there were Native Americans who hid out and didn't cooperate with the government, but they weren't able to practice a religion or anything. And being half Native American, I have drawn more to that culture, kind of feel it in your blood in a funny way. But it was very difficult to make, what are you going to do to make Native American art? And there's, so much stuff that you see out west that's kind of like tourist art of what people want to perceive as, this is, Native American art. But I was trying to do it from maybe a more intellectual point of view of what's going on and something that would ring more true to me. And the Cheyenne on the right side is from a ledger. They used to, out on the reses, they would give them these lined books, and they gave them pencils, and they would make drawings. And so you can see it's a very flat style. So they didn't really have the 3D thing going. My guy on the right was actually taken from the last gold coin that the United States issued, which I think in 1924 they recalled them all. They're very valuable coins. I should know I can't think of the name of the person who modeled for this painting. And then the symbols on the top, those are eagles. And that was from some of the headdresses of the San Carlos Apaches from Arizona. And down on the bottom are the four directions, the north and south and east and the west, which is very important in the religion. And so being half and half, I kind of try to figure out, well, half Western Parisian culture and half Native American. So it's trying to come up with a synthesis of my background. And the hang around the Fort Indians were people that collaborated with the white people, and they got a pretty raw deal, but they didn't get as raw a deal as if you lived out on the plains and tried to make a go of it.